as part of his legal team. And as a leader of the one-term movement, which I don't think currently I'm a member of any political party, but I subscribe to the philosophy of the one-term movement, which is clearly the recognizable leader of that movement across the country. And he's doing a good job. So out of that reason, I will not get into the nitty-gritties, that you did against me this, against me this. I respect both Uhuru Kenyatta a lot, and I have no problem with Honorable Gachagua.
But definitely you see the problem there.
There is a problem.
The crux
it is obvious.
Yes, yes.
It is obvious. But it is not irreconcilable in many ways. My own view is that there will always be sibling rivalry. We have it amongst cousins. Sometimes we have it amongst our own brothers. Who is better than the other? It doesn't mean you hate each other, but those things sometimes happen. So the issue, even in the Bible, there was that story of, who was it? Somebody who was assisted by the mother to get the inheritance of his brother. So it's not like the mother hated the other, but there can always be those small preferences. So the existence of that alone is not a game changer. So but for me, and it's a matter of philosophy, I think the Constitution of Kenya says Kenya is a constitutional democracy. The only way that Kenya can feasibly be a constitutional democracy is where you have these so-called legacy politicians, ethnic kingpins, not being able to declare that this is my turf and my turf alone. I am not a supporter of that. You may have a situation whereby the DCP may be interested to be the ODM of Central Kenya. I think I don't want anybody to be an ODM of Central Kenya at all. Because politically, the way I look at it is that Central Kenya, because we've had a low caliber politicians in Central Kenya, and I keep saying that, you are likely to fall into the danger if there is only one party that you can contest under and win. Because it would mean that you either get the DCP or Jubilee ticket and you win irrespective of your personal merits. So that some level of competition, which is what I understand DCP, not DCP, Jubilee, and DCP will have in Central Kenya, and also, of course, Mother Karoa's party. Let us have candidates as many as possible being elected, and let's have a real choice. Let's have democracy. It's not a situation that DCP, even if you're able to rally the majority of presidential votes, that every member of parliament must come from DCP, irrespective of your merit. I don't think Nyanza is better for it, or even the Kalenjin territory, that everybody must come under William Ruto. You get a situation whereby very bad leaders are imposed upon the people. So let there be democracy. I am a supporter of democracy. So that if you bring an idiot, you want us to elect an idiot, let us have a viable option that people can also elect somebody who is not an idiot. But having said that, there is, of course, the issue of the future. I don't think, since constitutionally Uhuru is done with his term, I don't think President Uhuru Kenyatta is viewed as the future in Central Kenya. The future, and this is, since I come from the community, the future you would see amongst local ordinary people, DCP carries the day by a huge margin. Very many people would have no problem with regarding Gachagua and DCP. So it's largely the party of the moment. But I also hear, and even over this weekend, a lot of population amongst the educated class, the middle class, there being a lot of reservations about regarding Gachagua and DCP and his people. This is natural. But the point it makes is that you can understand the fear of the leadership of DCP that there is something that probably can get some traction, and DCP and Jubilee could easily, it may not, I don't see Jubilee really getting 50% of the vote in Mount Kenya, even amongst MPs. But it is possible that they could get 30% or something to do with that. So anybody with ambitions that you want to be the ODM of Central Kenya would be concerned about Jubilee.
Yeah.
But the significant point also that is important to understand is that, for anybody who believes in one term, which should be the basis upon which anybody should be measured, unless and until Jubilee comes out and say we are two-term, it would be unfair to label them a state project. And therefore, and since they are still interacting, let there be a basis for this interaction. But critically also is that even as these interactions are going on and the competition is going forward, you look at the Constitution, how viable would be a candidate of Jubilee, the presidential election, going to be? There is likely to be significant support of somebody like Matiang'i across the country, not just in the Mount Kenya region, but something that, and about the unity, the connection with unity, is that personally, if you ask me, I actually want Matiang'i to vie for the presidency, because I believe these many people have not been able to understand. If you truly support one term, one term can easily be delivered in the first round of a runoff election. William Ruto, if Raila Odinga, and I believe Raila Odinga is starting to understand this, if Raila Odinga vies in the next general election, Ruto will very highly unlikely to be even in the top three. If most of the people understand that, then one term will be delivered in the first round. But this thing of expecting that you will beat Ruto in an election whereby the boardroom decide there is a Gachagua group and they say there is a Raila group. Raila has tried it 3 times. It has not worked. Idiocy is to repeat the same thing over and over again. 2027, you get one term if you go and look at the possibility of a runoff election. And for this, in my understanding, if Matiang'i vies, you will definitely not get anybody winning round 1. The contest will translate into whom will the people of Kenya send to the runoff. It is highly unlikely Ruto will get enough votes to get to the runoff.
Maybe I would like